improve control of tooth movements throughout treatment. The elasticity of SmartTrack material allows the aligner to stretch over complex malocclusions and then return close to its original shape and move the teeth through each stage of treatment. SmartForce features are added to the Invisalign aligners to improve the effectiveness of tooth movement. These features are carefully designed and engineered to deliver the planned biomechanical force system to control the movement of each tooth. Another innovation is SmartForce Aligner Activation. SmartForce Aligner Activation is a modification to the tooth position in the aligner created during fabrication to create the necessary contact points that apply forces to the tooth. Tooth movement is tailored to every patient and the needed movements. SmartStage technology is the optimized progression of tooth movements developed to improve predictability and reduce unwanted interferences, and is applied in the development of treatments with Invisalign clear aligners. SmartStage technology ensures optimal staging of treatment every step of the way. The Invisalign system is a force-driven clear aligner system. It uses biomechanical principles to apply the forces necessary to move the teeth and minimize unwanted tooth movements. SmartTrack material, SmartForce features and SmartStage technology together deliver optimal control of tooth movement so we can achieve our treatment goals with confidence for each individual patient predictably and efficiently. A displacement-driven system fabricates each successive aligner with each tooth in its next intended position. A displacement system may not engineer the correct forces into the aligner shape. This may lead to unwanted tooth movements. The Invisalign system, designed based on orthodontic principles and biomechanics, is designed and optimized to achieve more predictable clinical results. The unparalleled expertise that comes from having treated more than 8 million patients globally with the Invisalign system means greater accuracy, reliability, and predictability for each aligner patient. This gives me the confidence to achieve my desired clinical outcomes and an ideal smile for my patients.
My name. You want to do what?
We're on a multi-year journey to reimagine end-to-end digital treatment planning. So we upgraded ClinCheck Pro 6.0 to give you better visualization and more flexibility than ever. The new in-face visualization tool is designed to show you how your patient's smile will be transformed before they even begin their treatment. And all of ClinCheck's capabilities are now cloud-based, giving you the freedom of treatment planning from any Mac, PC, or tablet, wherever you choose. Aligners, paired with this reimagined suite of digital planning tools, creates an elevated experience for both you and your patients. Starting from the first iTero scan, through using the Invisalign photo uploader, all the way to your patient receiving their custom Invisalign aligners. So your workflow can be easier than ever, and your patient's smiles can be more brilliant than ever.
Xin trân trọng kính chào quý thầy cô, quý anh chị, bác sĩ đồng nghiệp và các bạn sinh viên. Hội thảo chiều nay chúng ta sẽ bắt đầu từ lúc 13 giờ 30 phút. Xin quý hội thảo viên ổn định kết nối và chờ đợi trong ít phút nữa. Thay mặt ban tổ chức, tôi xin được nhắc lại một số lưu ý như sau. Thứ nhất, trong quá trình diễn ra hội thảo, toàn bộ tính năng mở mic và camera của quý hội thảo viên sẽ bị tạm khóa. Và một lát nữa khi hội thảo bắt đầu thì cách thức để đặt câu hỏi hay là các thắc mắc góp ý sẽ được chúng tôi hướng dẫn một cách cụ thể. Về việc cấp chứng chỉ đào tạo liên tục cho những hội thảo viên có nhu cầu cấp chứng chỉ CME thì xin lưu ý rằng chúng ta cần phải điểm danh bằng cách trả lời vào form Google sẽ được gửi ở một chat box vào giữa hội thảo từ 14 giờ 30 đến 15 giờ 30 và quý vị chỉ cần điểm danh một lần thôi ạ. Thứ hai nữa là bài kiểm tra post-test sẽ được gửi vào lúc 16 giờ ngày 12 tháng 10, ngay sau khi hội thảo kết thúc, vào email của quý vị hội thảo viên đã sử dụng để đăng ký. Và hạn nộp bài sẽ là 17 giờ ngày 13 tháng 10. Và quý hội thảo viên lưu ý là phải đạt trên 5 điểm thì mới đủ điều kiện để cấp CME. Còn ít phút nữa chúng ta sẽ chính thức vào hội thảo buổi chiều. Mời quý vị chờ đợi trong giây lát. Xin cảm ơn.
Align Technology was founded in Silicon Valley. The vision was really to bring orthodontics into a digital age to serve digital consumers. One thing for sure that's really critical to Align Technology is innovation. And over the past 20 over years, we have invested more than $1 billion on just innovations alone. 2020 is an exciting year for us. We're rolling out a suite of new innovations. For instance, CleanCheck Pro 6.0, the very first CleanCheck that it's now based out of cloud.
CleanCheck Pro 6.0 runs on a web-based browser, which also means the software stays up to date all the time. Orthodontic treatment has moved from traditional wires and brackets to clear aligners. But either way, patients still had to go through the process before knowing the end result. With the help of today's technology, that is all about to change. Align Technology's new CleanCheck Pro 6.0 comes with a powerful new tool called in-face visualization. It integrates the 3D tooth model into an actual image of patient's face. Doctors can modify a treatment plan in a real time with the benefit of facial landmarks, midline and smile line, visualizing the patient's new smile within the image itself. The Align Technology digital treatment planning workflow combines digital tools which are designed to work seamlessly to support doctors in treatment planning. The Invisalign photo uploader app helps capture a patient's image. iTero helps create a 3D model of the patient's dentition. CleanCheck Pro 6.0 software gives doctors the ability to effectively do treatment planning on the go, and the in-face visualization tool lets patients see the transformation of their smile.
Align Technology offers a truly end-to-end digital platform. We continue to transform smiles and change the lives of patients, and over that journey continue to redefine what is best and challenge ourselves.
Kính thưa quý hội thảo viên, xin trân trọng giới thiệu chủ đề của hội thảo buổi chiều ngày hôm nay, đó là điều trị những case phức tạp trên bệnh nhân trưởng thành với Invisalign, dưới sự trình bày của thạc sĩ bác sĩ Thamonun Panaphipat và phần phiên dịch của thạc sĩ bác sĩ Nguyễn Lan Anh cùng thạc sĩ bác sĩ Phan Hồng Nhung. Buổi hội thảo chiều nay sẽ được tiến hành dưới hình thức dịch song hành, tức là phần phiên dịch sẽ diễn ra cùng lúc với phần báo cáo tiếng Anh của báo cáo viên. Do đó, trước khi bắt đầu, đại diện công ty Invisalign sẽ giới thiệu tiểu sử diễn giả cũng như là hướng dẫn cách thức đặt câu hỏi và cách bật chế độ phiên dịch để quý hội thảo viên được tiện theo dõi. Xin trân trọng kính mời.
Xin cảm ơn bác sĩ Nhân ạ. Em xin chào các bác sĩ và em xin chào mừng các bác sĩ mình đã quay lại với cái buổi phần buổi chiều của ngày hôm nay. Thì trước tiên em xin được hướng dẫn các bác sĩ cách mà mình bật cái chế độ dịch tiếng Việt song hành để mình tham dự cái webinar hôm nay, bởi vì là cái phần dịch buổi chiều ngày hôm nay của chúng ta là dịch song hành, nó không phải dịch đuổi như buổi sáng. Thì trước khi mà mình bật được cái phần chế độ dịch song hành thì mình hãy đảm bảo là cái phần mềm Zoom của mình đã là cái phiên bản mới nhất. Nếu mà mình chưa update thì các bác sĩ có thể update ngay bây giờ. Với các bác sĩ mà mình dùng máy tính với hệ điều hành Windows là Mac thì ở trên cái phần mềm Zoom mình hãy tìm cái tính năng tên là Interpretation, tức là phiên dịch. Nó có một cái biểu tượng hình quả địa cầu hoặc là cái hình như ở trên màn hình ạ, có chữ VI Vietnamese, và mình click vào đó, mình chọn ngôn ngữ là Vietnamese. nếu mà bác sĩ chỉ muốn nghe tiếng phiên dịch thì bác sĩ hãy chọn cái lựa chọn là Mute Original Audio, có nghĩa là tắt cái tiếng gốc, tắt tiếng của báo cáo viên. Còn nếu mà bác sĩ muốn nghe cả tiếng của báo cáo viên thì mình sẽ chọn Unmute Original Audio để mình vừa nghe được tiếng gốc và mình vừa nghe được tiếng phiên dịch. Có một số lưu ý là khi các báo cáo viên mình chia sẻ video ạ, thì các bác sĩ mình nên chọn cái chữ Unmute Original Audio để mình nghe được cái tiếng trong video mà báo cáo viên của mình chia sẻ. Đây ạ, khi mà mình ấn vào cái chữ Interpretation nó sẽ hiện ra cái lựa chọn như thế này, như ở trên màn hình. Thì còn các bác sĩ mà mình đang tham gia webinar trên điện thoại hoặc là iPad thì mình sẽ chọn cái biểu tượng dấu 3 chấm ở thanh công cụ trên phần mềm Zoom, và mình sẽ chọn cái phần Language Interpretation là ngôn ngữ dịch, và mình chọn ngôn ngữ dịch của mình là tiếng Việt để mình nghe được phần dịch song hành. Thì tương tự như ở trên máy tính, mình cũng có thể chọn là Mute Original Audio để mình tắt tiếng gốc, hoặc là Unmute Original Audio để tiếng gốc mình nghe tiếng của báo cáo viên, bằng cách mình chọn trên cái thanh chuột ở trên điện thoại hoặc iPad của mình và mình ấn đăng. Và đây là cách mà mình bật được cái chế độ dịch song hành với cái buổi báo cáo buổi chiều ngày hôm nay. Thì sau đây em xin giới thiệu về báo cáo viên của chúng ta. Thì trước khi giới thiệu về báo cáo viên thì em cũng có một số lưu ý dành cho các bác sĩ. Cái này nó cũng giống như buổi sáng đấy ạ. Đó là các phát biểu quan điểm và ý kiến được đưa ra trong chương trình này, cả phần buổi sáng và buổi chiều. Cái tài liệu liên quan thì đều thuộc về báo cáo viên. Tập đoàn Align Technology và công ty Invisalign Việt Nam không xác nhận cái tuyên bố quan điểm và ý kiến đó. Và người tham dự mình có trách nhiệm tuân thủ luật pháp và quy định về bất kỳ chương trình tiếp thị hoặc là giới thiệu nào. Và các bác sĩ mình vui lòng mình cũng không quay phim chụp ảnh trong chương trình hôm nay ạ. Thì em xin giới thiệu về báo cáo viên của trường hôm nay chúng ta, đó là bác sĩ Thammanun Panapipat, bác sĩ tốt nghiệp khoa nha Đại học Chulalongkorn, Thái Lan vào năm 1992, và vào năm 1996 thì bác sĩ Thammanun theo học thạc sĩ chuyên sâu về chỉ nha tại Đại học Mahidol và nhận bằng tốt nghiệp cao học về chỉ nha cũng tại Đại học Mahidol, Thái Lan vào năm 1997. Và bác sĩ Thammanun đã hoàn thành một công trình nghiên cứu dài 246 trang với chủ đề là tình trạng tái phát sau duy trì của các trường hợp cua hai hàm, và được Đại học Mahidol tại Bangkok xuất bản vào năm 1996. Và bác sĩ Thammanun đã trở thành nhà cung cấp Invisalign vào năm 2010, và bác sĩ hiện đang điều hành một chuỗi phòng khám tư nhân lớn tại Bangkok, Thái Lan. Và các cái ca điều trị của bác sĩ Thammanun thì nhận được rất nhiều các lời khen ngợi của chuyên gia chỉ nha trong nước và quốc tế. Và hiện tại thì bác sĩ Thammanun là nhà cung cấp Invisalign từ hạng Diamond và là giảng viên thỉnh giảng về điều trị chỉ nha bằng khai trong suốt tại Đại học Mahidol, Thái Lan. Thì em cũng có một số cái hình ảnh về bác sĩ Thammanun. Mình có thể thấy ở trên hình ảnh có cả bác sĩ Warsi, báo cáo viên sáng nay của chúng ta. Đây là hình ảnh của các bác sĩ Thammanun, bác sĩ Warsi tại Siforum, hội nghị Siforum của Invisalign và Atero vào năm 2018, năm 2021. Đây là hình ảnh mà bác sĩ Thammanun đã sang Việt Nam để thực hiện cái lớp đào tạo cho các bác sĩ nhà cung cấp Invisalign của Việt Nam vào năm 2019. Thì rất là tiếc là do tình hình dịch bệnh mà mình cái buổi hôm nay mình chỉ làm online, mình chưa có cơ hội được gặp offline. Thì công ty cũng rất mong là tình hình nó sớm ổn định trở lại, chúng ta có thể gặp nhau trực tiếp. Thì như lúc nãy em đã nói là cái phần trình bày của chiều hôm nay nó sẽ diễn ra bằng tiếng Anh và có dịch song hành ở trên Zoom. Thì các bác sĩ mình hãy làm quen với cái tính năng dịch song hành này trước để chúng ta có thể nghe được cái nội dung buổi chiều một cách đầy đủ nhất. Và nếu các bác sĩ mình có câu hỏi dành cho báo cáo viên thì mình cũng sẽ ghi lại ở trong cái ô Q&A ở trên Zoom. Và do thời lượng của chương trình có hạn thì chúng em cũng sẽ đọc ra một số câu hỏi mà điển hình và có thể là sẽ không trả lời hết được toàn bộ các câu hỏi của bác sĩ, thì rất là mong các bác sĩ thông cảm. Thì sau đây em xin nhường lời lại cho phần trình bày của thầy Thammanun. Good afternoon, Dr. Thammanun.
Good afternoon.
How are you?
I'm good. Yeah. Good afternoon, all audience in this room. I hope I can understand all your Vietnamese language. It looks very interesting. Okay. Today we will start with my presentation.
Yes. Please share your screen. Okay.
Okay, I will share my presentation. Okay. Treating complex adult case with Invisalign system. Disclaimer, please don't post any patient face or content on social media, because I asked for the permission from every patient already, but some patients don't want to post their face on social media. Please do not record or tape. You can take a picture as you want. This is my Facebook, Panatun. Okay, my education, I graduated in Chulalongkorn University in 1991, and I have my master degree in orthodontics in 1995, and higher diploma in 1996. I first used Invisalign system in 2008. 4 years later, I stopped using it. Why? Because most of my case, I need to correct with braces to finish the treatment. 90% of the case, I need to fix with braces to finish. So I don't think this is the good way to treat. This is not my way to do ideal treatments. After I attend the Dr. Sanda Thai course in 2014, I realized that I don't know anything about using it. I don't know how to staging. I don't know how to sequential digitalization. I don't know everything about the movement. I just trust the technician to do it. But it is not that. We have to know how to move it. You have to know the staging. You have to know everything, and we are the doctor to tell the technician to do what we want. So in 2014, I start to come back with 9 cases. In 2015, I bought my first iTero, and I got 19 cases. And then I got Platinum Elite, and Diamond later. This is my clinic in Bangkok, Smart Smile Dental Place. Clear liner in orthodontic treatment. What is the secret? You have to know about the biomechanics first. When you compare with braces, the braces produce more pull force, but the aligner produce more push force. If you decide more surface contact between tooth and plastic, it will have a more push force. So when you decide the movement, you should focus about to have a more push force in your clean shape. And aligner can produce horizontal force only. If you want vertical force, you need to add attachment or button and elastic to produce more vertical force. And aligner can produce the direct and indirect force. If you want that direct force, you can add the button and pull the elastic from K9 button to lower 6 button. It will be a direct force to your teeth. But in some way, you did not want direct force. You need indirect force, you want to digitalization, and you want to push back all the front teeth at a time. You can use precision hook on the K9 to use elastic from lower 6 to hook. It will produce indirect force. About push force in clear aligner, the first and the most of the good one is that digitalization. For this digitalization, we can do a sequential digitalization. So we can move 7 back. We use 6 to 6 like an anchorage. Then we move 6 back. We use 5 to 5 as an anchorage. And then we move 4, 5 back and front teeth back. When you move 7 back, you don't need to use elastic, because 6 to 6 is quite good anchorage to move 7. But when you move 6, when you start to move 6, you might need to use elastic. And when you move premolar and front teeth, you absolutely need to use elastic to help you to digitalization. This is digitalization, sequential digitalization. You also can do simultaneous digitalization. That means the teeth move all the teeth move at a time. You can see every teeth move at the same time. Compare with the last one, you can see that it's like an arrowhead. The staging for the simultaneous digitalization, you need to put some tat to be the anchorage to use a heavy elastic from tat to upper hook to help the movement. If you don't have extra force to move the aligner, the teeth will not digitalization. Most of my case, I use sequential digitalization, but not all of my case can do sequential digitalization. Why? In some case, the anchorage in the front teeth is not strong enough to hold digitalization. Like a perio case, if the bone is not strong enough, you have to switch to simultaneous digitalization. If you don't do simultaneous digitalization, the front teeth will fly out because the weakness of the anchorage. The second push force is protection. When you protect the lower front teeth forward, you can see all the lingual sides of the anterior teeth is a pushing surface. It is very, very good when compared with the braces. If you have upper lateral incisor in standing and you want to pull it out with braces, you will have the problem about the root torque, because the crown will go but the root will not go. Not in Invisalign. In Invisalign, you will have all the lingual side is pushing surface. It will push the root too. This is the benefit of the Invisalign system. The third one is the expansion. You can expand. The expansion is you will use lingual sides, all the lingual sides as a pushing surface. It's very good movement when you use push force with aligner. How about pulling force? Extrusion. When you want to pull down the front teeth to extrude the front teeth, the aligner itself cannot do pulling force like this. You need to put attachment on the tooth to drag down the teeth down to extrude the teeth. If you don't have any attachment, the teeth will not extrude at all. About retraction is the same. When you use a G6 to retract the front teeth in case extraction case, you need to put attachment to help you to control the root, the root tip. Also the same for the constriction and visualization. I got 5 star on visualization. That means it's very difficult movement with Invisalign. If you have a visualization 3 mm, it's okay. If more than 3 mm, 5, 6 or 1 molar space, is very difficult movement. So for the extrusion, we have 2 kinds of extrusion. We have absolute extrusion and relative extrusion. For absolute extrusion, you need to put attachment on the teeth to extrude through the long axis of the teeth. It is more difficult than do a relative extrusion. If you have an open bite case and you set some space to retract the front teeth back, the front teeth will go tipping like this. You can extrude and retract at a time. So this is like a predictable movement with Invisalign. For intrusion, also the same. There are 2 intrusion, absolute intrusion and relative intrusion. For absolute intrusion, you will need some pressure area to help you to intrude the teeth through long axis of the teeth. But for the intrusion on lower anterior teeth, you will need strong attachment on the 4 or 5 or both of them. If your CleanTech have optimized rotational attachment, it is not strong enough to hold the hold the intrusion on the front teeth. So you have to change to be optimized retentive or optimized exclusive attachment on 4 or 5. If you cannot choose, you have to change to conventional attachment to help you to be encouraged to intrude the lower front teeth. You also need to buy ramps in the front teeth to help you intrude the front teeth. There are 2 kinds of biram we use. There are the first one is conventional biram. It will not change position all the time. The second one is precision biram. It will change position when the bite change. Please ask for precision biram when you want to intrude the lower front teeth. It can press on upper 2 to 2. When you want to intrude the teeth, in this case, you want to intrude 1, 2, and 2 and 2, 1. Sorry, 1, 1 and 2, 1. You will need attachment on the side teeth. This is the rule. When you want to intrude only one teeth, you need attachment on this one too. The teeth that you want to intrude did not need to use attachment. But if you want to do a root tip, you can place some attachment to help you. Okay, for treatment planning in any case, you need to start with diagnosis. And then you need to have a final position in your head. You have to see what is the position at the end of your treatment. So you can design after you got your final position, you can design the movement that's good for aligner. In some movement that is not good for aligner, you can avoid that. You can think about staging too, and then you can transfer your what you think in your head to the technician to get a clean check. This is what the way we do. So I have to focus that you need to have a final position in your head. In all of my case, I have my final position in my head. I always have. There are 3 kinds of the treatments. The first one is ideal treatment. I mostly use ideal treatment in my case, but in some case, like a perio case, you cannot do ideal treatment. You need to do a compromise treatment, or in some skeletal problem case, you need to do a camouflage like a class 3 or class 2 treatment. Today we will discuss about this 10 type of malocclusion. Class 3, Class 2, Division 1 and Division 2. Class 1, supra-erect molar, open space for implant, canting, open bite, extraction, perio case, deviation. My first case, Class 3 malocclusion. When we got Class 3, you have to think in your mind that there are cross bite on the front teeth. So you need to retract the lower anterior teeth back, or you need to protect the upper anterior teeth out to get the normal overjet overbite. In most of the Class 3 case, the lower arch which will wider than normal. You need to constrict the lower posterior teeth, or you have to expand upper posterior teeth. But in some case, you cannot correct crossbite on the posterior teeth. Like some case, there are very wide lower arch and very small upper arch. So in the case like that, you have to leave crossbite on the posterior teeth, but you have to correct on the anterior teeth. It depends on your bone support. If there are no bone, in any treatment, you cannot move the teeth out of the bone. For the Class 3, if you can do some extrusion on the posterior teeth, When you extrude the posterior teeth, the mandible will go clockwise rotation. The mandible, the chin will go back. It will help the class 3 to look less than normal. And you might need to intrude the lower anterior teeth in some case with deep crossbite and deep bite. The last one is till occlusal plane counter crossbite might help class 3 treatment. My first case, she have class 3, 39 years old. You can see her negative lip step here. You can see her lower lip is a little bit forward. She have crossbite on premolar to premolar. All every teeth have crossbite. She have some spacing on the upper and lower teeth. If you notice that she closed diastema on the 1-1 and 2-1 and 3-1 and 4-1 with some composite material. At first, I think to remove the composite out to get a nice scan, nice scan of every teeth. But go back to my older case. I did one case with remove all the composite material. The patient closed with this material for life. Once you remove it out, the patient will ask you to refill it back. So I suggest you to cut to IPR this one little by little, 0.5, 0.5, 0.5, and then if they are very small, you just remove it out. This is her panoramic. You can see she have lower edge on both sides. When I see lower edge, I feel a little bit relieved. Why? Because if the edge can still present here, you can move 7 back. When you remove the edge out, and you can move the 7 back to replace the edge position. So it will be predictable movement. She take an X-ray. This sepharometric in CO. This one is in CR position. I always do CR position X-ray to check where is the chin point. How much do I need to retract the lower front teeth back to get a nice overjet overbite? I draw a line. I draw imaginary line of the lower anterior teeth to go back like a 3 mm. The root still in the bone. The root, all of the roots are still in the bone. So I think we can correct this one with a camouflage treatment. If some case you draw a line and the teeth is out of the bone, that means that case you cannot do camouflage treatment. You have to go to treatment with surgery. Problem list for the case. The first one is she have class 3 molar and canine on both sides. She have spacing on upper and lower anterior teeth. She have crossbite, anterior crossbite. She need to remove the filling on the upper and lower front teeth. The difficult one is she have rotation on the lower premolar, lower 5, large arch width. Okay, my treatment option. I think about 4 treatment options. The first one is extract lower 1 incisor out to correct the crossbite. The second one is extract lower premolar. The third one is digitalization with remove 8 out. The fourth one is TAT. Use TAT to help. I choose this one. I choose sequential digitalization with remove 8 out. Normally, I don't do lower incisor extraction because when we do a lower incisor extraction, we will face the problem about Bolton discrepancy. It's very difficult to correct Bolton discrepancy. the button will affect about the overjet or bite and all of the bite position. So in my lifetime treatment, I think I do only 2 or 3 cases, lower incisor extraction, and because that teeth is a perio and there are too much mobility to keep the teeth, so I need to remove it out. So we will see the clean check for this one. Okay, you can see I move the lower 7 back. I remove 8 out and move the lower 7 back, and use cast-free elastic from upper 6 to lower canine to move the teeth back. I did IPR on 1.1 and 2.1. I did IPR on 1.1 and 2.1 2 mm. And I did IPR on 4.1 and 3.1 1 mm. But in my real life, I IPR little by little, 0.5, 0.5. And then if they are very small, I removed out. So in this case, I need to constrict upper 4 because the upper 4 is quite expand. I need to constrict the lower arch a little bit too. But you can focus that lower 5. You can focus lower 5. Lower 5 is moving and rotate the teeth. You remember that? You remember this teeth? We will see later how the teeth move. Okay, this is her situation after first clean check. We have positive lip step now. We can correct the crossbite on the lower teeth already with the first clean check. I have, but you can see lower 5. Lower 5 still rotate a lot. There are posterior open bite on the back teeth on both sides. But we can correct the main problem of this case to correct the crossbite. So we do another AA to do again. My new AA to mainly to retract a little bit more in the lower teeth, to intrude lower teeth more, to correct the rotation on the lower 5. I think I want to use V elastic from lower 6 to upper 6, lower 6 to upper 6, and to lower canine like this. But in my real life, I did not use. I just use this one, plastic elastic only. I did not use V elastic. Okay, you can notice that in this clean check, I also trust Invisalign to rotate lower 5. See the result after my AA1. She have a more nice face. The rotation is correct on both sides, and it is not done with the movement with Invisalign. But I did put a button on the buccal side and another button on lingual side, and pull the chain like this on both sides to have a coupling force to derotate the lower 5 on both sides. So I can correct that much rotation with coupling force, not with Invisalign. So if you have the rotation case like this, I suggest to push the teeth while the teeth still rotate. Don't rotate it back until it almost close to the position. You just rotate it back. Don't rotate it while you dislike. It will make you off track. But in my first clean check, lower 5 is off track with the aligner, but the other teeth still good. So I still use that aligner. I remove the attachment out, and I use that aligner to mainly retract the lower front teeth back. Okay, I did another AA. This one is to try to see the occlusion and intrude lower teeth a little bit more. You can see that the lower front teeth was intrude. I IPR a little bit. The lower front teeth intrude. I put biramp on the upper 222. I try to use zigzag elastic to see the occlusion. Okay, compare with first treatment, before treatment, and before AA2. You can see the face change. She really pleased with her change. You can see her lip step is much better than pre-treatment. You can see her teeth change a lot. The arch form also look very oval. The bite is better. Okay, this is during treatment. I did not put zigzag at first. I used cast-free with V elastic like this first to pull the teeth, to pull the lower teeth back a little bit more, and then this is during treatment again. I put the button on upper 5 and do a zigzag elastic to see occlusion. To see occlusion with zigzag elastic. This is before I do another AA. I just remove all of the remnants composite out and find a little bit space in between 1 and 2 So I need to do another AA to correct it. This is my third AA. I did a little bit more intrusion on the lower front teeth. I tried to close bite on the posterior teeth. When you want to intrude, when I want to intrude the lower front teeth, I also put the biramp on the upper front to help intrusion. This is my when I finish the case. The bite is set on both sides. I asked patient to change her new crown because another old crown they are leaking, and the cut is not nice due to the bite at the pre-treatment. So this is my final stage. I correct all the cross bite. You can see the panoramic view. This is the cephalometric view post-treatment. You can see there are a little bit lithocline on the front, on the lower front teeth. It should be lithocline because we do a camouflage treatment. We did not do a ideal treatment. If we do some more lingual root talk, the roots the lower anterior roots might come off the bone. So in my opinion, I will not do a lingual root talk until to push the root out of the bone. I will not do that. So this is my superimposition. You can see there are some extrusion on the upper molar. Upper front teeth is quite the same. The chin is moved back because we have extrusion on the upper posterior teeth. So the chin go back, and it will help the class 3 movement. The profile change a lot. Okay. Tip for the case. For this case, I delay to extract lower edge until I start the treatment. If we do extract before before the treatment, before scanning or before the treatment, the bone will come, the bone will formation. When we got the aligner back from the company, it will more difficult to push the lower 7 back. In each case, with crossbite, you need to check symphysis and you need to check lower lingual bone. If there are bone enough to move the teeth, so you can move. If there are not enough bone to move the teeth, you cannot move the teeth at that case. I try to intrude the lower anterior teeth many times to correct the deep bite. I add extrusion on the posterior teeth to help the mandible go backward, and it helps the profile of the patient. Please don't forget to check A to H bite in each case. In many cases with class 3 like this, there are some A to H bite. The patient can bite at A to H, so it makes your treatment easier. And in all of my interference case, not only class 3, I let the patient eat with Invisalign, so it will exclude the occlusion. You can retract the front teeth much more easier. Okay, my second case. This is class 3, 16 years old. You can see a little bit retrude on the upper lips. You can see canting on the upper and lower front teeth. This is his CR position. In this case, I cannot find his CO photo. I did photo in CO position, but I cannot find it. So this is my CR position. You can see he can bite only here. And most of all, his upper 5 is embedded under the bone. This 2-5 partial erupt. There are not enough space for the teeth to erupt. This one is out of the position, so it is quite a difficult movement. I can find the model. I sent to the lab. That the lab do like this, not me doing myself. You can see his CO position. He have a very deep cross bite. Upper 1-5 is embedded, but the position is not bad. So I think about X removed 8 impact out or open space for impacted to come out. This is his CR position. I cannot find X-ray on CO position too. When I draw the lines from that X-ray, I can retract the lower teeth a little bit back. I can protect the upper teeth a little bit more. So then we have a normal bite. Problem is on this case, he have a class 3 canines, class 1 molar on left side and class 2 and on right side. He have class 1 on left because the teeth is still impacted. The upper 5, both of them still partially embedded or impacted under the bone. He have cross bite on the front teeth. He have midline shift, chin deviate to left. Upper 5 is embedded. Lower anterior teeth retrocrine. Sorry, upper anterior teeth retrocrine. But he can do A to H bite. Treatment option. The first one is lower incisor extraction or premolar extraction, or the third one is protect at this line upper and this line lower teeth. The fourth is remove or embed out this line lower and midline upper teeth. I choose this one. Protect and this line upper and this line lower. You can see in my clean check, I start treatment at the CR position. I did slide upper and lower posterior teeth, I use class 3 elastic to help the movement. I open upper 5 space by protect the upper anterior teeth forward, and this slide the back teeth, this slide the molar. So I gain space for upper 5 eruption. And for these teeth, I try to ask the lab to because the mesial part of the teeth is under the gum. So I asked the lab to make a mesial cuts like this, but the lab cannot do that. So I think we need to do another AA because this part will push the mesial cuts during treatment. So during treatment I need to do another AA before I finish this screen check. But after almost 40 aligner, I correct the cross bite by protect the front teeth, upper front teeth out, and retract the lower front teeth back. I got more space for upper 5 on both sides, and luckily me, because this side at first is embedded, it erupt by itself. I did not do anything. It can erupt by itself. I have to do another MCC mid cut correction because this part push the mesial cuts in the mesial portion of 2.5. So I have to do another AA. I did another AA. I have a little bit more visualization on the back teeth because when we want to let the embed erupt, we have to create more than enough space until upper 5 eruption, fully eruption, and then we will close space again. So I do another AA. This in this screen check I do like a MCC. So I did not change mostly of my attachment. I use the same attachment. But you have to realize that when you have optimized attachment that have active force in the first screen check, in the new one, if you don't change the attachment, your optimized attachment will be like a retentive attachment. There are no active force anymore. Okay, this is when I finished my first AA. The 515 is better, but I put the button on here, and put a chain here to rotate that teeth. And during the treatment, because I have a pontics on the teeth on both of them, I have to cut this side because this plastic push the teeth. So I have to cut every aligner. And I think at this time the teeth is long enough to do another AA. So I do another AA at this time. I put attachment on upper 5 to try to extrude the teeth and close all the space by Invisalign the teeth back. Okay, I still use class C elastic. You can see I try to extrude the upper 5, and I also in my first screen check there are extrusion on the 6 and 7, upper 6 and 7, but without attachment there will be no effect of extrusion. At this time I almost finished my treatment, so I have to put attachment on the 7 to extrude the teeth to see the bite. This is his position. This is his position. All space almost closed. And this case have to refer to Korea because the patient go back to Korea to study. So I have to transfer the case to Korea. This is my last photo. I think I almost finished the case. The bite is much better. If the patient still in Thai, I just do V-elastic to see the bite. It will finish. Tip of the case. You have to open the space. In this case, I open the upper 5 by this slide the posterior teeth. Also, at the same time, I protect the front teeth out. Both of them are synergistic movement. This protect the front. This slide the back is synergistic movement to open space for upper 5. I have to extrude the posterior teeth to let the mandible have a backward rotation, so it will help the class 3 patient. And this case, at the beginning, upper teeth a little bit like retrocline, so I can procline it. And the most important thing is I let the patient eat with Invisalign. My next case is class 2, 2.1 class 2 division 1 malcushion. In case with class 2 division 1 malcushion, you need to dislike upper arch or both upper and lower, and you have to protect or procline the lower teeth. You need to expand, mostly expand the lower arch. In some case, you need to use TAT to help, and you need to use class 2 elastic. In some young patient, Invisalign have MA, mandibular advancement feature. You can do with mandibular advancement. My case, 14 years old, class 2 division 1. This is his lip. He complained about his protruded lip, upper lip, but he has small chin. At that time, MA is not come yet, so I did not use AA because he planned to go to study in Japan. He just removed the supernumerary teeth before see me. You can see the lower teeth a little bit crowding, a little bit narrow arch on the lower teeth. Upper arch is protrude and a little bit procline. For his cephalometric, you can see upper 7 partial erupt. Sorry, this one is partial erupt. This one is still under the bone. And he have all wisdom teeth in position. You can see the upper lip a little bit protrude. Upper front teeth a little bit protrude. So we need to retract the front teeth back. Problem list. The first one is he have class 2 division 1 small chin. Canine is class 2. Molar is class 2 and on. Lower crowding. He have supernumerary teeth between 1.1 and 2.1. Large overjet. Deep bite. Lip protrusion. A little bit lower midline shift. And most of all patients will go to study abroad soon. In many cases in Bangkok, because the price of the Invisalign is quite high than other treatments, the patient will mostly have a wealth to go study abroad. So we will face the problem about during the treatment, patient change his mind or her mind to go to study abroad or to go to live abroad. So if you do with other treatment, you cannot do anything. You have to remove the bracket out or wait. But with Invisalign, you can still continue your treatment when the patient can come back for once a year or twice a year. My treatment option, there are there are 3 treatment options. The first one is extract upper 4 and lower 5, or upper and lower 4, digitalization, or use TAT to help. In this case, I did a digitalization only. I did not use any TAT. You see my contact. I digitalize the teeth. I can digitalize the upper 7 that are still not erupt yet. I just put the 6 back, and it will kick the 7 back too. I did a little bit digitalization in the lower teeth to create space for lower anterior teeth to correct the crowding. And I did a lot of digitalization in upper teeth. What is my mistake in this case? My mistake is I have a biramp. Why I have a large overjet? There are no need to use any biramp on large overjet, because the patient might bite behind biramp, and it will make the overjet is worse. Okay, in this case I use a class 2 elastic on both sides, but the patient didn't use any class 2 elastic at all. The button on the lower teeth keep losing, and the patient didn't use any elastic during the treatment, during my first treatment. So I stopped the treatment at 40 aligner, 10 months. From 86 aligner, I stopped at 40. This is his situation. The front teeth forward, because when we disalign the 4-5 back, you need to use elastic. Patient need to use elastic, but the patient did not use any elastic. So the front teeth come forward instead. But with digitalization, I can correct the molar to class 1 on both sides. But now there are a lot of space in the front teeth, in the upper front teeth. This one almost good. So I do a MCC at this time. I do another AA. I retract the front teeth back. Patient use photobiomodulator to help the movement. I change aligner every 3 days. And at this clinic, patient realized that if he don't use any elastic, he will ruin his treatment. So from this clinic, he very good with it using elastic. So you can see, I will show you the result. I expand a little bit, lower arch. I retract the front teeth back a lot. Okay, this is his picture at the end of my AA1. You can see his front teeth go back nicely. A little bit deep bite, still deep bite, but you can see I cannot upright the upper 6. I try to upright the upper 6. I try to use V elastic here like this. For some times, I think through 3 months, I try to upright the 6. But because of the force, when you use elastic like this is the vector of the force on the upper 6. This force is the center of resistance of the teeth. The force is almost on the center of resistance or behind the center of resistance of the teeth, so the teeth cannot upright. I tried for a long time, but I cannot upright the teeth. So in my next screen check, I changed the position to do a button like this instead, and do be elastic like this. The position here is front. The force here is front of center of resistance of the teeth. So there are movements like this happen. So when you think about to use elastic, you have to check where is the position of the center of resistance of the teeth, and you can do use elastic in front of center of resistance of the teeth. It will help the movement happen. This is my AA2. At this side, at this side, I not use V elastic. I tried to use V elastic from upper six to lower six to here, but it not upright the molar. Another side, I use like this. It uprighted the upper six. So when I use for some times, I change to use button here. I remove the attachment out and put the button cut here by myself, and do V elastic on the right side, same with the left side. This is my final position. He have a much better lips. His chin still a little bit small, but he's have a lot better lips. This is his occlusion. He have a very nice occlusion at the end of the treatment. Arch form is quite nice. Everything is quite good. The root is almost upright in every teeth, except this one. Because there are sinus pneumatization here. When the root hit the wall of the sinus, it cannot upright more. It should be like this, because the sinus wall is a very thick bone. This is his cephalometric at the end of the treatment. I can intrude a little bit. Sorry, I can intrude a lot to correct the deep bite. Tip for the case. The first one is digitalization need elastic. If you do digitalization one arch, like a cut through this line upper, cut through this line lower, you need to use elastic to help movement. And if the teeth is partial erupt or unerupt, you can dislike that teeth by pushing 6 back. It will kick the 7 back too. Because the teeth is under the bone, it's easy to move. And the third one is for intrusion and anterior teeth, you need biram to help you. You always need biram to help you. And when you want to use elastic, you have to check the direction of the force. If the force will produce a moment that you want, that elastic will help you to upright the teeth. If the force is not good for moment to happen, you have to think again and change the position of the elastic. And for this case, from non-compliant patient can be a good one when you motivate the patient good enough. In this case, I use a photobiomodulator device to speed the treatment. Cast to division 2 case. For cast to division 2, in many cast to division 2, you need to dislike the upper teeth. You also need to protect the upper and lower front teeth because the teeth too upright. You need to do a lingual root talk on the anterior teeth. You need cast to elastic. Some case you need IPI and expansion too. But mostly in the lower arch, you need expansion. This is my case, cast to division 2. He is, I cannot hide this. Sorry. Okay. This case is, I don't think, how old is he? I cannot see. Oh, 14 years old. He's 14 years old. And this is situation at pre-treatment. He have very retroclined front teeth, both upper and lower front teeth like this. You think about it, about if you use braces to correct this case, it will be very difficult to press the lower bracket on the lower anterior teeth. It will be very difficult because there are no space to press the bracket. If I find it, if the patient come and the be situation like this, I try to motivate patient to use Invisalign. It will be much easier for me to treat. You can see his X-ray. He's very upright upper and lower anterior teeth. He have wisdom teeth on 4 wisdom teeth. Every teeth is okay. Performance is severe bite, retrocline anterior teeth, class 2 molar on right, dental class 2 division 2, upper midline shift to left. My treatment plan, there are 2 treatment plan, is Invisalign upper teeth or the extraction. In this case, I use a Invisalign upper teeth without tat. This is my first clean check. I did slide on right side. I use cut 2 elastic on the right side, and you can notice that I talk about when we intrude the want to intrude the anterior teeth, you will need biram on the anterior teeth to help you intrusion. But in the case like this, if you put the biram at 2 to 2 at the early stage of the treatment, you will push the roots against the bone. So in this case, you cannot put if the tooth too upright, you cannot put the biram on the tooth, on that tooth, but you can place the biram on canine instead. You can see I use the biram on canine. I have a lingual root talk on the front teeth. I do a lingual root talk and intrusion at the same time. I did not procline, intrude, retract. I do a lingual root talk and intrusion at the same time. Do again. I do an intrusion and lingual root talk at the same time. Okay. See what is the result. After I use around 20 to 30 aligner, his teeth go be like this. I got almost plus 1 molar on both sides. At first I used 2 class 2 elastic on both sides, but for a while I stopped class 2 elastic on the left side because it will tend to move more than I want. So I stopped to use. I use only on the right side. This is during treatment. The molar is quite nice occlusion. The canine is moved back, midline a little bit, almost on. We can correct the bite almost good. We can see the lower front teeth. This is when I do a. You can see that I can correct the lingual. I can do a lingual root talk a lot. He have a nice overjet over bite. His back teeth is quite good on both sides, but a little bit midline shift here. I want to correct it, so I do another AA. You can compare with pre-treatment. So in all class 2 division 2 case, I will I will try to make the patient decision to use Invisalign to help. It make me treat easier. Okay, I did another AA here. In my AA, I realized that upper canine there are root prominent here. I will go back the slide. I see a little bit root prominent here. I want to kick the root in want to kick the root in on both canine. So I do a button cut in the lingual side instead of the buccal side, and I do a V elastic from upper 6 to lower 6 and to lingual side of the canine to kick the root in. Okay, this is my AA. I did not finish the case yet, but this is my situation of the case. Okay, tip of the case: lingual root talk together with intrusion is good. When you do a lingual root talk, please add a little bit intrusion, and don't use a biram too early on upper 222. It will push the root against the bone. So, but if you cannot put the biram on 222, you can use on 3 instead. In this case, I use button on lingual side of upper 3 to help lingual root talk on upper 3. My next case is class 1 malcushion. For class 1 malcushion, I have to do digitalization 4Q, both upper and lower digitalization, and I need expansion IPR. Some case I need to use TAP to help. My first case here for class 1 digitalization, she have 46 years old. She have a little bit protrusion on her lips, but because of her age, I asked her to don't retract too much on the anterior teeth. It will make you older. So she focused that she don't want to extract any teeth out because she don't want to look older. So this is her occlusion. She have a little bit crowding on the upper and lower front teeth, but her occlusion is quite nice. This is her X-ray. A little bit protrusion on the front teeth. They are very low, very thin bone here. So I don't think we can extract any teeth and do a 5 mm retraction on the front teeth, because the lower front teeth will come out of the bone on the lingual side. This is her panoramic film. There are 8 here under the bone. I don't remove it now because there are some space between 6, 7, and 8. Problem is, the first one is lip protrusion. The second one is patient need non-extraction, because I asked her to do a non-extraction to don't make her look older. She have class 1 molar and canine. She don't need to retract the teeth much. Option. The first one is extract 4 bicuspid out. The second one is non-extraction with 4Q digitalization. The third one is use TAT to help. In this case, I do 4Q digitalization without TAT. See my clean check. I did 3 mm digitalization on the 7, on both sides of the 7. But this is my mistake. I also did a constriction arch between digitalization. Constriction need space, so I can retract a little bit front teeth. Why I digitalize 3 mm? I can retract the front teeth only 1.5, 1.6 mm. So this is my mistake. So when you do digitalization, you need to add a little bit expansion, not constriction. Okay, this is my case. Okay, after my first clean check, this is her situation. She told me, oh, she like her lips so much, her teeth look much better, but I don't think so. I think okay, she have the teeth or align, or the teeth aligned, but the lips still protrude a little bit. So I did another AA here. At my last mistake, I did not expand the teeth. So this another AA, I expand the posterior teeth out. and I did some IPR on the 5 to 5 to gain more space to retract the front teeth back. In this clean check, I can retract the front teeth back more than in my first clean check. So don't forget to expand while you do digitalization. How much to expand, you need to check the bone support. If there are bone, you can expand. If there are no bone, you cannot expand. This is her after do AA1. She's better. I put the vertical elastic to see the occlusion. Her teeth look better, but I don't satisfy the result. I want to do it more. So I do another AA, a little bit more IPR on the back teeth. I try to correct the midline. I try to see the bite and correct the midline. I put many of the attachment on the back teeth to see the bite. But I found that use vertical elastic is better. I put the button on the back teeth and do a zigzag elastic. To see the bite. But you can see the bite is quite thick, but I think another midline is a little bit off. I asked the patient to do another AA. Patient told me she's very appreciate the treatment now. She don't want to do anything more. She look okay now. She like it, but I asked her to do another AA to correct the midline. I do another AA, additional 3. I IPR a little bit on Q2 and Q4 to correct the midline. Okay, a little bit. I think it's 10 aligner. This is when I finish the case. She's much better. Her lips much better. She likes her teeth very much. Midline still off a little bit. So, but she don't want any treatment. So I have to stop treatment now. So we can dislike both upper and lower arch at a time. In this case, this is her panoramic view. The root upright is quite nice. Compared with pre-treatment, you can retract the front teeth. I think not that much, but because of the thickness of the bone is quite thin here, so we can upright the lower front teeth till the teeth touch the bone, the lingual bone here. If we do too much, the root will come out of the bone. So this is my limitation. Tip of the case: keep class 1 all the time when Invisalign both arch. Expand if there are if the pre-treatment is class 2, you need to dislike upper first until class 1 and keep moving both upper and lower molar together at a time. Expand. Don't forget to expand posterior teeth. In the case like this, you need to over treatment because the result will not as shown in AA. You need to over treatment a little bit. This is another class 1 digitalization. She is 28 years old. She have a little bit protrude on the upper lips and lower lips, crowding. She have crowding on upper and lower anterior teeth, but you can see that there are very thin bone here. So you cannot retract too much because they are very thin bone. You can see in her X-ray again. She have no wisdom teeth on every quadrant, but you can see the bone is very thin, very thin. So if you do an extraction, the root on the anterior teeth will come off the bone for sure. So in this case, I do a 4Q digitalization. I move the 7 back together, and then move 6, and then move 5, 4, and move front teeth back. I did a little bit IPR on the crowded teeth, because when we correct the crowding, there will be interproximal space. So I did some IPR. So I do a 4Q digitalization in this case. But during the treatment, when I move the 7 back, it look okay. When I move the 6 back, I saw a little bit protrude on the upper anterior teeth. So I decided to put that on here. This is her result after the first treatment. You can see I have mini screw here on both sides. I put the change from mini screw to upper 4, and I did elastic from tat to lower canine on both sides. You can see there are hook here. I put the change from mini screw to upper 4, and you use elastic from tat to lower canine. So the teeth will not come forward. The teeth will go backwards. Okay, I do another AA from this position. To see the bite too, I try to see the bite with elastic, and I did a little bit more IPR to gain more space to close the bite, to retract the teeth more. I do coverage lingual talk on upper and lower front teeth. Okay. This is my result after treatment. After treatment, I think I can retract the front teeth back a lot. You can see the front teeth look nice. Midline is on. The option is quite nice, and the root is quite upright in this case. And you can see the root lower anterior teeth root position. It almost come off the bone. You can see the bone here. Some of the root is come out of the bone. So if we do more retraction on the lower teeth, the root will come out of the bone for sure. So this is a limitation for the treatment. So we cannot do more than the anatomical limit of the case. Tip of the case, expansion, wide digitalization. If the anchorage on anterior teeth is not strong enough to do a dual digitalization, please consider to use TAT. You can use TAT on the both upper and lower, or use TAT only upper. In my case, because the patient have a little bit gummy smile, so I put the TAT on only upper to use the session on from the TAT to upper premolar, and elastic from TAT to lower canine. And the most important thing is, please don't retract anterior teeth over the bone limits. If there are bones, you can retract. If there are no bones, you cannot retract the teeth out of the bone. And please keep class 1 all the time when you move back the teeth. Supra eruption molar. Supra eruption molar, you need to intrude the supra eruption teeth. You need pontic on the opposing teeth to help intrusion. I suggest to use full size pontic on the opposing teeth. If if there are no opposing teeth, you need to use lever arms to help you to intrude molar. See my case. This is my case. She's 32 years old. She did ortho treatment before with me. I think 10 years ago. I asked her to put the implants on both teeth. She refused to do that. 10 years later, she bites on the gum. Now she come back to see me again to correct it. So I suggest her to use Invisalign to correct it. So she used Invisalign. This is her X-ray. In the first treatment is quite okay now. You can see this one is extrude. This one is also extrude. I need to intrude both of them. In the clean check, I intrude the upper 2/6 and 4/6. I use strong attachment here to be a lever arm to intrude the teeth, both teeth. In this case, I cannot use any bite here because the lower 4/6 is bite on the gum, so I cannot press anything on the gum. But after I did my first clean check, you can see there are gaps here already. There are more gaps here already. There are no impinged gum from the cuts of the molar. They're gone already because the teeth moved down. So I did another AA here. My AA is focused to intrude more on the 4/6 and 2/6. I asked clinician to put pontic on the opposing teeth to help intrusion. And this pontic, if you see, 1/6 pontic is moving down. It will help you intrude the 4/6. But in this side, I didn't move it down because I think that the space is quite enough. I just want to upright the roots. And this is her situation now. So there are a lot of space for implant now, but I want to intrude a little bit more. This is her teeth just yesterday. There are a lot of space. There are enough space here on both sides. So from bite to the gum, you can use Invisalign to intrude the opposing teeth by put the pontic here to help intrusion on the 4/6. Tip of the intrusion. So you need to over intrusion. You always need to over intrusion. You always need force from the opposing teeth by put some pontic. The pontic, if there are pontic on the opposing teeth, you please ask the lab to move it down when another side intrudes, move the pontic down, or ask for heavy occlusal contact with the pontic. And you need adequate attachment to hold the intrusion. And in this case, I level the gingival line in the front teeth to do a veneer after treatment. So digital dentistry is like this tsunami. It come for us anywhere, in prosthetic field, in other field, also in orthotic field. If we still use a headphone here and don't think about anything, don't focus about the tsunami, it will hit you and you cannot survive that. For my opinion, we more study about the new technique Invisalign is a digital new technique with digital. It will replace all the old system in the future. So we go to higher place to survive this tsunami. Okay. I will have a 10-minute break here.